Hi everyone, welcome back to another tutorial, another week. This week I'm going to paint the third part in the winter scene tutorials, okay? Part 3. 2, 3. So yeah, we'll finish on this one, and next week then I'm going to do something with the mountains or something, some nice rocky mountains perhaps, something like that, before we move on to another series. So I think number 3 now is going to be a nice one. I have a big canvas here, it's 16 by 20, a nice decent sized canvas, so we're going to do some lovely snow scene with some mountains, some mist, some trees, perhaps 1 or 2 little log cabins, something like that. So yeah, that's the plan for this week. We're doing well. So look, I'm going to set the camera up here overhead and show you what I have, my colours and stuff, and we'll go and have a bit of fun with this one, alright? So don't go anywhere. Okay, you should see the photograph on your screen there. Now doesn't that look fantastic? Lots of mist going on, some nice snow on the hilltop, nice little cabin. So yes, let's have a bit of fun with this. I better tell you my colours. I have titanium white, a little Naples yellow, some cobalt blue, some phaylo blue, some ultramarine will do just fine also, some cadmium yellow pale, a little crimson, some burnt umber and some black. If I need anything else I can add to it as I need it, but I think these are the primary colours I'm going to need. Right, I have some turpentine, a little drop of turpentine, nothing else, and some tissue, and I have my large stubby brush. So this is my biggest brush now. This is the biggest brush I use, and I'm going to start with the sky with this. Okay, the sky is a nice rich blue, so I will probably take a bit of both. Let's try this and have a bit of fun and see what we can do with this. So a nice simple blue sky. Let's take some phaylo blue, which is very, very rich, and a fair bit of titanium white. And let's mix that in there now, and let's see what we can achieve. I think I might add a touch of cobalt to that. Cobalt is a much more kind of a natural blue. So it does kind of help with these snowy types of skies. Let's have a look. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. I think a bit more cobalt. Cobalt is a bit more kind of, it's slightly on the more reddier side of blue. It's kind of a warm, earthy blue, whereas the phaylo blue is much more of a cool, cold kind of an ocean blue. So I think mostly cobalt in this, I would say. Let's just put it on and see what happens. We can always change it as we go. Now I primed my canvas twice, so you can see it's moving around lovely on the canvas. When I first bought the canvas, it was very dry and rough like sandpaper, but I sanded it down slightly and gave it 2 coats of primer, and look at that, it's smooth like silk. I can hardly feel the grain, it's lovely. Now, what did I do? Okay, I picked up a bit of white, and I'm going to start lightening this as I come down just a little. I need to be careful with my colours here, my values, as they might be better known. You might hear people talk about values in painting. Value is just the lightness or darkness of a colour, a particular shade. So a light blue or a dark blue, medium blue, they're different values. That's all you need to know. It's, you know, I don't like getting too technical with painting, because you don't really have to. As long as you enjoy it, that's the most important aspect for me, anyhow. Look, what I'm going to do is, you see, because we have a dark blue in the hill, so I don't want the dark blue to get lost in the sky. So I'm kind of trying to plan 1 or 2 steps ahead, if that makes sense, colour-wise. So I don't want the sky to be too dark, which will then detract from the hill. I want to be able to show the darks of the hill, the shadows. So I don't want the sky to be too dark. It is kind of quite rich and dark on the photograph, I know. I could always make it slightly darker on the top, but for the bottom I'm thinking not too dark. That's probably okay. I'm fairly happy now with that. Let me just soften the brush strokes out just for now, and I'll sit back quickly and have a fast kind of look and see what I think. Right, let me see. Right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten it on this side. So I'm just going to dry my brush fairly quickly and take some white, and I'm going to add some white just on its own, no turpentine. Go back into it again, and I'm going to just lighten this side of the sky, and I will darken the opposite side then maybe slightly, yes? How about that? And I'm just giving my brush a very quick kind of a clean, very quickly, every now and again, just to keep it nice and fresh. And let me see now, a bit more white in here. You could perhaps even add a touch of crimson down there if you wanted. Should we try it? Just the tiniest little touch of crimson, just to warm that sky very, very gently just down there in the horizon. That'll do fine. Again, you see, I don't want this too light then, because I want to be able to show the snow on the hill. I don't want the snow on the mountain blending into the sky, so you can't go too light either, you see. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken it very slightly up in this corner with some phaylo blue, nice rich blue, and a touch of crimson. And this now is a completely dry brush, so I'm taking little bits at a time, see? And this then will mix on the canvas. So you don't have to wet your brush every single time you go into a colour. Once you have a base on, it's a case of using just paint on its own on top of that, because otherwise the canvas will get too wet and it'll become very messy and very hard to control your colours. So there now, look, and I'm going to soften that now right in, and you notice I'm going at a very slight angle. I think it's much nicer this way rather than just having everything horizontal. So a very, very slight kind of angle. It helps with the perspective and distance in a painting. It just helps that little bit, I find anyhow, if we're doing a sky like this. So let's just have a fast look at this now. Okay, you see, that's not bad. I think it may be even darker. Yes? I'll take a touch of black with the phaylo blue this time. And let's go for that. Let's go for it. Look, watch this. Oh, look at that. There, that's nice now, isn't it? It's just this very, very corner up here. It's a lovely rich dark on the photograph. A little more phaylo. So I do, yes, I want to keep that nice and dark, just to create a little contrast on the painting. And soften it down then very gently. Now I think that's good enough. I think I will just leave it at that. I'll put this brush down and I will move to another brush. Let me have a look at my brushes now and see what I have here. I suppose I could use my medium stubby. Let's go for the medium stubby, yes? I'll dampen it very slightly. And what I generally tend to do when I'm doing mountains like this is I normally just paint in the darks first, and then I paint the brights on top of that. So I'm working from dark to light. You could, let me have a look now, you could kind of mess around and put in some lights. I think I'll just go with some darks first. So I'm going to make a nice colour now to complement the painting on this. I don't want to go too dark, but not too light either. I will take a little phaylo blue, nice rich dark blue, some crimson. I want to keep this nice and warm now, by the way. I don't want to go too cold with this, because working with blues you can make the painting very cold very quickly. I want to keep it nice and warm and inviting. I'll take a little bit more crimson there. I have a kind of a plummy colour there now. And let me just have a quick look at that. Let me just take a touch of white. And I might take into that a touch of burnt umber. And the umber will kind of push the blue down slightly, so it's not blue. Now let me just take a look at this. Right. A touch more red, I'm thinking. And what I'll do, look, is I'll just go along and paint the dark side of this hill, and even go across into some of the light side as well. And you can even soften some of it into the sky if you like. It kind of generally tends to soften in anyway because it's all wet. So I'm just very kind of loosely now pulling down, getting this nice shadowed side done. And it really almost disappears into the sky, doesn't it? There's a lot of mist up there. Pull it right down here like this. I'm not going to go all the way down because we have a lot of white mist going right across there, don't we? There's no point in bringing it all the way down because we'll have to try and lighten it back up again. So I'm just kind of very quickly putting in just some of the shadow on the hill. Very, very quickly. Right, let me just kind of looking backwards and forwards now to the photograph. I think I'll put this down and I'll try perhaps my small stubby. And I'm going to take a warm mix. I'm going to take some burnt umber, some crimson, and a touch of black. And I want to kind of add a touch of warmth here and there to that kind of cool shadow. So black with crimson, a touch of brown, and just here and there then, I'm going to just add that just here and there. Now, do you want me to zoom in the camera so you can see what I'm doing a little better, yes? I'll zoom in, look, just for the hill. How about that? Okay. Now, that looks fine, doesn't it? There are just little hints of real dark colour here and there on the hill. So I'm just going to, with the edge of my brush, because this is a nice flat edge, you see? Has a lovely flat edge. It's great for getting these little nice sharp lines and edges. So I'm just going to try and get in some of this kind of dark warm colour. Now it's probably slightly more blue on the photograph, but look, this is our painting. We can keep it whichever way we like. We can change it around if we want. It's completely up to ourselves. It's our painting. It doesn't have to look exactly like the photograph. I keep saying that. I think some people try to get their paintings looking exactly like the photograph, and it can be a struggle when you're trying too much. Do you understand? And I think just, you know, have a bit of fun, and it only needs to be like a close representation of it. It doesn't have to be perfect, by no means. Now, okay, let's get some more blue now. Some blue and some crimson, and I'm going to darken that there with some blue, because believe it or not, the blue will kind of bring out the shadows a little more also. Now I'm going to just clean my brush very quickly, and I'm going to take, now I give it a good dry, I'm going to take some phthalo blue and some white, and I'll take a touch of crimson in this, and up here, because it's on the light side of the mountain, it's going to be a slightly lighter kind of a shadow blue. Does that make sense? And I'm just kind of flicking it down and pulling it down just here and there. You can also use a palette knife for this, by the way, if you like using a knife. By all means. I'll bring some of that blue down in here. And I'm hardly even looking at the photograph, to be quite honest. I like kind of making things my own and adding my own mark to the painting rather than trying to get every single little colour perfect. So I'm just going to add some nice lighter kind of blue towards the base. And then we're going to start working with whites and bright colours. So just pull everything down in the direction of the hill. Alright, I'm barely touching the canvas now, I'm just kind of softening the colours in very gently. So let's just have a look at this now and see how it's looking. Okay, there we go. I suppose we'll just make it a little pointier, shall we? The Okay, always sit back and take a look, see what you think. Okay, I'm pretty okay with that. I'm happy enough with that. A little bit more lighter blue in that shadow over here, because I can see a very kind of a light blue just down in the depths of the hill here. Alright, that'll do fine. And I'm just trying to keep it as easy as just nice and simple, nice easy techniques, nothing complicated. I don't want to go into too much detail, because I'm aware there's a lot of beginners out there who are just kind of learning and getting the grips with the oil paints. So I'm going to keep this nice and kind of easy and simple and fresh. Alright, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my medium stubby brush again, okay, the one I used earlier, give it a quick clean, a very, very quick clean on your tissue, and we have a nice kind of white mountain popping up here now, don't we? So let's go right into some white, and there might be even a touch of blue in this. It doesn't have to be pure white, okay? And let's cut down and into that mountain like so. And then I'm going to give my brush a quick wipe on the tissue, and then go back in and soften that right down there. And then I'm going to just kind of imagine that it's disappearing down into the mountain, and the colours are just merging together, see? So one just disappears into the other, isn't that lovely? And there we are. Now let me just move the camera again so you can see what I'm talking about. Make sure you have a perfect view of everything I'm doing. I'll clean my brush again quickly, and I'll go back into some white and go up here now into the sky, and just give this a nice crisp white edge. And pull that down into that colour underneath. Look, soften it right down. I want to keep the very top edge nice and crisp and white. There we are. Oh, look at that. See, that's beautiful now, isn't it? And what we can do then is let's take our small brush again and get some of that nice shadow colour. Let's take, okay, a little bit of blue, a little bit of grey. Kind of a dark bluey grey colour. And just behind the ridge up here we have a little shadow I can see. So I'm going to wiggle it along and just come down to a point with the brush, see? And we might have another one here somewhere. And it's really that simple. And then I'm going to take my soft blender brush, my little powder brush, as the ladies might know it, and soften this down, just pull it down gently. These are very far off in the distance, so you're not going to see huge amounts of sharp detail. So we can leave that as it is. That's pretty good. I'm happy enough with that. We can always brighten it if we need to. Let me see now. Okay, you can see everything all right. I'll zoom in now to this mountain and we'll do some highlights on this. Yes? Okay, there we go. Nice close-up view. And basically what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to clean my small flat brush, or any small flat brush that you have, and I will take some Naples yellow, lots of titanium white, only a tiny bit of Naples yellow now with this, and a touch of crimson. So I'm going to make a very kind of a sunlit colour. It's not white, it's going to be very bright, as if the sun is kind of glancing across on the snow. So Naples yellow, some crimson and lots of white. And let's see now if we can make this really pop out. So we have a nice ridge kind of coming across like that, don't we? And I'm pulling my brush strokes down all the time. Softening them down to that colour very gently. Okay, like so. When it gets dirty, I'm just going to give it a little tiny wipe on my tissue, just the tip of the brush. Then go back in. We get some nice colour on here. Isn't that nice? Nice and bright. Look at that. Give it another clean again. Go back in. And let's go up here now and add a little highlight here and there to the very tip of the mountain. Again, I'm cleaning my brush very well now in between each time I do this, because you want to keep it nice and bright. And there's little touches of snow just here and there around the edges. Again, I'm not going into too much detail. I don't want to get every single detail, but I want it to look like snow on the hill as well. Okay? Now we could soften some of these with our little pointy brush in just a moment. I'll go over here and add a little one, perhaps just here and there. Perhaps a little tiny bit coming down like that. And tiny bit just at the back here. And you see, so just little strokes with the brush. I'll put that brush down now for a moment and just take my blender brush again. Okay, nice and soft and very gently, barely touching the canvas. I'm just going to soften some of those out, just a little, only a little, following that direction of the hill again, see? Now, how's that looking? Yeah, that's not bad at all. Right, final step of this, I'm going to take a very small pointy brush. This is a new one, and you don't have to wet it, you can keep it pointy or just keep it dry. Let's take some nice crisp white and let's just go up and kind of define some of our edges with this. Okay, and it's just basically me putting a couple of lines here and there to suggest little ridges of snow, that type of thing, around the hill. I'll clean the brush every now and again just to keep it nice and bright and fresh. Let's put a couple of nice hard edges here and there. Perhaps down here. I will actually now put one or two shadows onto this, I think, just here and there as well. I'll come across to this hill and perhaps put a little nice thick paint on that here and there. Can you see that? Yeah, you can you? I'm just checking the camera to make sure you can see everything okay. And just have a bit of fun. So little touches of shadow now here and there on that. I'll just take my same brush and go into some of that very dark colour we had earlier. Some crimson, some phthalo blue, touch of black. And I'll add little touches of shadow just here and there behind some of those lines. And it's only just to give it that more dramatic feeling. That's all. Okay, you see what I mean? There, how's that? And perhaps one just on the right hand side here. Just one or two. So I'll just darken them very gently, see, and soften it down. You can even use your finger if you wish. There. And how does that look? I'm pretty happy with that. Let's zoom back now and take a proper look. There. Isn't that lovely? And that's the hill finished. You can always soften some of them out if you like and go back later, make them a little stronger or even soften them some more. It's completely up to yourself. But you know, in general, it's just a nice easy way of doing a little hill in the distance. You don't always have to use your palette knife. Although it is beautiful, it's a lovely way of painting hills. I use it myself a lot of the time. But I just thought for a change, look, why not just use a little brush? And it just gives you that little bit more detail as well. So that's it. Next we have lots of mist. I'm going to take my small stubby brush and give it a good clean and go right into some white on its own. We could even take a touch of crimson, a tiny touch of crimson in this. Lots of paint on your brush, and let's go in here and wiggle that about. And look, soften it right up then into your hill colour. Nice and soft, see? Now I'm picking up some of the blue and I'm moving those colours then together. They're softening them together, those two colours. And come right down here to the top of the cabins. Let me get more white, my white is gone. Alright, this is pretty nice now. I'm looking forward to doing this painting. This is going to be nice, hopefully, says me. Now, some white again. And I'm just basically going around in circles. Look, pick some white, go around in circles. And let's go up here and soften some of that out into the sky. Okay, looks nice. And let's come across here and soften that in all the way across. Right down here with that. I'll go around the cabin. I'll leave the cabin white. That'll save me painting it in later, trying to get all this white off. So let's just go around the cabin and go up here into this hill. Isn't this lovely? Look at this. So easy. It really is. All I'm doing is swishing my brush around in circles. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to darken it again down in this side because it does get kind of slightly darker again down there. So I'll add a touch of blue into that. Round in circles. Perhaps a touch of the pink. Only a tiny touch. And in fact, I might even take a touch of the black also, and just add a touch of the black very far down at the bottom down here. And that'll help with my trees later when I'm putting trees in. Okay? You'll see what I mean. Add a little mist, a kind of a dark mist off in the distance there. Okay. Right, next step, soft blender brush, and I'm going to just soften. I'll start in the centre where it's nice and bright here and clean, okay? I'll soften that very gently, look. And I'm going in the direction of the hill, see? So I'm following that direction, very, very gently. I'm hardly even touching the canvas now at this stage. I'm just dragging the brush very lightly across the canvas. Isn't that wonderful? Look at that. And thank you for all your support, by the way. I really value all your comments and your support that you're giving me. All the likes, everything. It means a huge amount to me, it really does. And it makes it all worth it for me to do all of this for you. Okay, let me see now. I think I might make a little more white over on that side, just over there. It's pretty bright over there. I'm going to take a touch of Naples yellow as well. That'll just give it a bit of a kick, just a little bit of a kick. See, it does help. Soften that back in once again. There you go. Very soft. Speak nice and soft to it. There we go. Look at that. And that is our mist finished. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Okay. The next piece I want to get done is the little trees off in the distance. And let me just very quickly, before I continue, I do apologise. I just want to change my tissue because it's getting very dirty, look. So I just want to throw that in the bin next to me and get a nice fresh piece of tissue paper or kitchen towel or something like that. Put that down and we're off again. Now we have some nice trees off in the distance and there are different kind of ways of painting trees. I'd like to experiment. I think I might try a little fan brush first. You know, we'll see what kind of effect that can give us. So I think I'll try this little fan brush first. Nice soft one. Let's go for a nice soft one. Look, a nice soft fan brush. And let me just get a nice dark colour for this. So I'll take a touch of phaylo blue, some crimson, a little touch of black, and a touch of white. I don't want them very dark, but they are in kind of shadow, if you understand. Now with that colour, let's just dab, 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 dab. And it's very, very thinly applied now. It's really thin, this colour. And let's make it nice and thick just at the bottom. Okay. So let's try that again. Let's mix a bit more this time. Let's mix plenty of it. And let's go right up here over the house. This little, or the little log cabin rather. There we are. That's nice now, isn't it? And I'm going to soften this now off into that white. Make it nice and soft. Okay, how's that looking? Let's pick up some more. And in fact, as it comes over, it's going to get slightly cooler. So I might add a little touch more blue into these ones over here. So I'm just going up and down, creating little trees off in the distance. Like so. And soften them into the white very gently, you see? Very, very gently. Now, sit back again now and take another look at that. That's quite nice, isn't it? I like that. I'm going to make it slightly darker colour for the bottoms. So I'm going to take some burnt umber this time with some crimson. And I'm going to take some black. And I'm going to take that darker colour and just put that along the ends, just here and there. So we will have some closer trees, for example. So the closer we're coming, the darker they're going to get. And a touch more black around here. Alright, so we can leave it at that now for a moment. I'll clean my brush very quickly. And I'll step back and have a fast look. Okay, that's quite nice. Now we have some slightly closer trees, closer up. For that I might use my small flat stubby brush. And what I'm going to do is basically take some white and I'll take a touch of cobalt blue. Alright, just a touch. And with the flat of my brush, I'm just going to start suggesting the leaves. Now will I zoom back in here for you? Very slightly, yes? Okay. I'm going to just suggest some leaves on one or two little trees which are slightly closer to us. In fact, look, I go to a small brush, small pointy brush. Some blue and some white. And I'll suggest a couple of little ones kind of coming closer towards us. Aren't they just lovely? And you could even suggest one or two little tree trunks way off in the distance. Okay. A couple of small little flicks here and there. And it does help, it just does help. Now I might even take a fan brush, a clean fan brush, a small one, and I might just add little dollops of snow here and there on some of these, also in the distance. They're so far away that you can't really make out any details on them. But you can see just little tiny little bits of snow here and there on them. Now, nothing too complicated, just nice kind of simple little touches of snow. Okay. So how's it coming on? It's coming on quite nice now, isn't it? Shall we tackle, I'll put in some of the snow around the log cabin, and then we maybe do the log cabin and call it part one finished, yes? Because I'm conscious of my time and the memory on the camera isn't great, the battery power is not great, so I'm just going to, you know, do this in two parts because it's a nice big painting. So let's get some cobalt blue, some white. I'll take a touch of phaylo blue, which is nearly gone, and touch of crimson perhaps. Now I need more phaylo blue, so bear with me. There it is. Little touch. Very, very powerful colour, phaylo blue. Very, very powerful. Now let me get a nice blue, nice rich blue. And I'm going to soften it off into the distance. Let's take some more white. I'm just going to pull that colour now, just down slightly. Not all the way, just a little bit. Just so that I can concentrate then on getting the that little log cabin finished. Just there, you see? So, just to get a little base down here. Nice warm blue. Okay, that'll do fine. I'm now going to switch to a different flat. I have a nice flat medium brush here, and what I'm going to do is I will start, let's see now, we put a roof on this thing, yes? Let's put a roof on it. It looks very bright white in the photograph, but I'm going to just add a touch of Naples yellow again with some crimson, because, you know, I don't want it to be completely white. So let's just come down at a very slight angle here, and then pull it down like so, and then pull the brush at the same angle as the roof. You see? So you're telling the viewer the direction of the roof is coming this way, isn't it? Now I'm going to get some nice, real bright, rich colour for this. Some Naples yellow and a touch of the crimson again. Okay, let me just get this up here. And I'm going to add a touch of that. It's not on the photograph, but I quite like it. A touch of that warm colour just here and there. Just to give it that little bit of sparkle, you see? Now once I get the bottom in, it'll make sense. So the bottom is just burnt umber with some Naples yellow, and I'll take a touch of crimson as well just to warm it up, just to warm it slightly. And let's just get this in now. I'm just going to pull this down this way. I'll pull it down like this first, and then I'm going to pull across it. Okay, so it kind of comes down slightly here, and because we want to create some perspective in the painting, the bottom line is going to come out like this, down very slightly at a slight angle, and top is going to come down from here at a slight angle, so it gets narrower as it goes off, you see? And that's how you create perspective in your painting. So this is going to be the light side, and we'll have the dark side then, which is burnt umber. Let's just try some burnt umber on its own for the dark. Little turpentine just to help it move around. And we come in under our roof here. And bring that over here to this side. Lovely colour burnt umber, isn't it? I just want to fill this in now very kind of quickly. There's no technique to this, I'm just filling it all in. Fill it in whichever way you like. Okay, and then I'll take a touch of black with the brown and make it nice and dark on this side in here. So it's going to go from dark to light, see? And what I'm going to do next is I will take, let me see now, let me just find a nice little round brush. Nothing too small, even a very small flat would do just as well. Let me just have a fast look here now, see what I have. Okay, I have a little round brush here. It's not very small. The next size up from small, and I'll just put some black, couple of black lines across here. Now they can't be seen on the photograph because it's very dark, isn't it? But I'm just going to suggest them anyway. Just give it a bit of character, that's all. And I'll take some of that dark colour and I will put some down the side of this. Very fine lines, okay? See? Like so. How about that? And let's put a very dark colour then in under the eave of the roof. Very dark shadow colour. Now isn't that coming on lovely? We have a little bit of phaylo across the front of it, which is slightly lighter. So I'll take some burnt umber with some Naples yellow for that perhaps. And I'll add a little bit of that across there, like so. Now I'm still not kind of gone on the roof being just white. Now first of all I'm just going to add a little shadow underneath this. because there will be a big shadow cast, and there's also a shadow cast on this side of it as well, isn't there? We have a very big, strong kind of a pillar over at this side. Okay, and let's just give it some strength on the sides. Alright, that's looking quite well. Okay, I was still not gone completely on the colour of the roof, so I might just add a little touch of shadow on one side, only a very, very small hint of shadow. So let's say from here across, I find it just helps, it just makes it look more natural for some reason. I do this with a lot of my roofs. If it's slightly darker on one side, it just kind of helps give it a bit more contrast, I find. You see, I think it just does help. And you can always just get your palette knife then. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but you can just get your palette knife and take some crisp white on your palette knife. Okay, on the sharp edge of your knife, some crisp white. And let's pull some nice thick snow across this, alright? Down at the same angle again. There, just a little touch, that's all. Isn't that lovely now? Just get this little piece filled in here. That'll just help. And there we are. Now I will put a little window in here. I'll take some blue and some white, and I'll indicate a little window in the cabin here, and then put a tiny little black, very fine black line on one side to show the window frame. And then how about we do a little cross in the center of it? Yes? There. I think I might add a touch more blue to it. And I know there's a door in there somewhere. I can't see it right now, but it's there. I'll just indicate a very dark door hidden there in the shadow. It's in there somewhere. Make the roof a bit longer here. And I think we will call this part 1 finished. Yes? I know you would love to see me keep painting. I would also love to keep painting, but my power is almost gone on the camcorder here, and I need to get some free up some memory. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Let me zoom in now and show you what it looks like close up. Okay, you see? Isn't that lovely? So we have part 1 finished. So don't go anywhere. I will be right back with part 2. Okay, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon.